welcome to the Protagonist seat, the only big boy podcast made by big boys.
We're a big boy podcast made by big boys for big boys.
Yeah, it's not by kids for kids. We're big boys now.
Yeah, we have ascended past kids, and now we are the big boys.
We are big boys here talking about big boy anime.
Yeah, big boy anime like Machikado Mazuku.
Yeah, it's a big boy, big brain, big show.
Big boy brain show.
Everything is big around here. There's big shows. Big things are happening in all of them.
We've got the best anime. We've got the best words.
We have all the best anime here. It's huge.
With all the best words like huge and big and China.
It's going to be amazing. We have so many shows to talk about on this podcast.
All the best shows.
This is the best podcast. It's the only one that gives the real information on anime. The rest of them are all fake anime.
Fake anime news.
This is the real anime news source, even though it's not a news source.
We're kind of a news source.
Are we? We just kind of recap shit.
Yeah, who else recaps this shit?
There's places.
Exactly. No one.
Fake news.
Fake news, fake recaps.
Fake recaps. This is the only real recaps. Anyway, Lord Elamaloy case files.
Hey, some intrigue happens.
Yeah, just intrigue.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit more than that. There's a little bit.
They give you a rundown on how the class system works for servants, but come on, if you're watching this, you already know how that works.
Yeah, dang well should.
They normally they hide their identity and go by their class, like Saber or Lancer.
Yeah, so we know the servant's name, but we don't know her class.
So in this one, the train takes a crazy turn into a forest run by a dead apostle.
Yeah, it turns out the trouble with having a train that runs on ley lines is that mages can just fuck with that and send you into the forest of dead apostles.
Yeah, there's a dead apostle that runs this forest, and a dead apostle for you secondaries is like a super vampire.
For you fucking secondary normies.
I don't even know what's like I don't know, because how strong they are in the canon anymore, how like canon they are anymore. I don't know.
I guess they're pretty canon now because, well, we don't even see the dead apostle, just the reality marble forest.
Yeah, and apparently it traps people in and kills them.
Yeah.
And then these three mages get out and like, we'll take care of this, and then they job and die.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where they send out the red shirts in Star Trek. These dudes are wearing some red jerseys.
And most of the mages, including Olga Marie, decide, yeah, we're just going to bunker down in our cabins.
You know what? I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Especially Olga Marie, because anytime she shows up in any kind of media, bad stuff happens to her. And you know what?
Yeah.
It continues to happen to her.
So Waver's still unconscious, so that's what's going on. And I did like the scene where his friend shows up and he like the blood against the window and he slides down, but that's because he's sick and he coughs all the time.
Yeah, he coughs up blood on the window and Gray's like, "Oh my god!" Then he walks and he's like, "Yeah, since I heard Waver was on the train, I thought it'd make a cool story, so I choppered in."
I think his name is Melvin.
Yeah.
Melvin W. something.
Melvin W.
Melvin W.
Melvin W.
Well, it's not like it's just his last name is like Weissman or something, or Werman.
Yeah,
I don't
something.
know.
He's got a last name. Trust us.
Yeah, he's got one.
He's got one.
So they all decide, hey, if we can just destroy the ley lines connecting this like reality marble to the outside, we can just escape. So we'll go in a small party to go out and do that. And the Holy Church guy's gonna go because he can actually he's heard about this forest. He's proficient in doing vampire related stuff.
And if he doesn't get rid of the thing, they're gonna cancel the auction.
And he wants to sell his stupid mystic guys that he hates.
Yeah, he'll never get rid of those dumb idiot mystic guys.
And Waver's really sparkly personality student decides to go.
Yeah, the pink girl with the star eye patch. and the jewel for an eye.
Yeah, someone who really doesn't fit into what you'd think what they've established mage society to be like.
Yeah, because up to this point, people generally look pretty normal. She's the most anime person I've ever seen.
Yeah. She has, like, Lolita fashion.
Yeah. And a personality to match.
And so they go, what's his name? Melvin goes too. Turns out he's known as Melvin the Tuner or whatever, because he's basically a bard. He's a bard. He uses his magic to tune their circuits, so everyone gets like a power boost.
Yeah, I remember watching him pull out the violin, and I was like, this dude's a bard. That's all. He's just a bard. He gives out more dice. Doodly doo. You want more dice? Have some dice.
Yeah, so they go out, and that's their search party, and Gray goes with them, but then she leaves almost instantly because she senses the evil, female Iskander character.
Ad is like, oh, there's a bad lady. The bad lady's looking at us. And Gray's like, I'm going to fight her. And so Gray fights her.
Yeah, for the longest time, I didn't know who voices Ad, but I'm like, oh, it's Daisuke Ono.
Yeah.
Who is Jotaro Kujo.
Yeah. It's weird because he's not
doing his tough voice. He's doing a really high one.
He's doing like the weird high kind of nasally irritating voice.
Also, fun fact, he voices Sir Kay in the drama CD for the Camelot FGO scenario.
That's pretty good.
And Gray is connected to the Round Table, which probably connected to Sir Kay.
So Gray is K. We got it. We solved it.
Yeah, Gray is K. No, that's probably not. But
no. She's King Arthur, because they did the whole thing with the Mystic Eyes of the Past where he showed.
I wouldn't be surprised if K probably helped make like the Ad and the spear. Maybe that would make sense why he voices both.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. That could totally be it.
You never know.
Exactly.
And then we cut to zombie cooking time.
Yeah, that was a little jarring.
Yeah, apparently this guy who knows about Mage Society also runs a cooking show, and he's friends with Kyrie.
And he cooks and shoots zombies at the same time because this is Japanese, so of course.
Yeah. But this is a British show. Like, this is in England.
That is probably what Japanese people think of British shows.
That's probably what they think of British cooking.
You know what? That wouldn't surprise me. There wasn't enough Worcestershire sauce on it, though.
Yeah. But he was using, like, cowboy guns.
Yeah, and he added soy sauce to whatever he was using.
It was weird.
It was weird.
They sat down and had a meal with him, and he essentially was like, hey, so, what are you guys looking for? And they're like, we're looking for information about, like, headless corpses. And he's just like, oh, yeah, there was, like, an incident. It's been going on for a while, this incident with them, but the media's been covering it up because the clock tower has been asking them to.
Like the case we covered 7 years back about those bodies. The bodies.
And they ask, like, hey, someone came to just ask me about that recently. And they're like, who? And she pays him, she gives him a check, basically, for a ton of money. And he's like, I forget her first name. Trisha Fellows, who is the woman that got her head cut off on the train.
How strange.
And while she's in her room, Olga opens up a little wormhole thing.
She stumbles across a little pocket dimension that was in the exact location that she would fall in at that moment.
And Trish we've already established has Mystic Eyes of Premonition.
So
she had to have known that would happen at that exact time. And her head falls out of the pocket dimension with some like Buddha looking necklace. I don't know. And turns out Snake Girl, lady with the snake, was watching, and I figured she was bad.
Yeah.
She's probably the master of fake Iskandar.
I would say almost definitely.
Yeah. And
who else is it going to be? The Chinese dude from like the first episode?
Yeah, Chinese necromancer dude.
Yeah, not that guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, she shows up and she's like, haha, I was the bad guy the whole time. And anyone who's been watching the show has been like, yeah.
And Waver's still unconscious, so we'll see what he does next week.
Yep.
And Gray's still fighting, even though the reality marble, I think, is like collapsing.
because she wants to defeat the servant, because if she let her get away, that would hurt Waver.
Yeah. I guess.
Sure.
To the abandoned sacred beasts, Hank gets his shit wrecked this week.
We watch Hank get his shit kicked in by another werewolf.
And turns out this dude was actually part of the Incarnate squad. His name was Roy.
Yeah. It was Roy. But you know what? Roy's not our boy anymore.
This Roy ain't our boy. He wants Hank to fight him wolf to wolf, and Hank doesn't want to do it because he gave up all hope.
Hank has PTSD, so Hank doesn't do that. Because he keeps getting nightmares and shit of him killing all his... Turns out, killing all your former war buddies is a little traumatizing.
Yeah, he has all these nightmares of everyone being like, Taisho! Taicho!
Why'd you kill us, Captain?
Yeah, Captain, why?
Why? And he's like, no!
Yeah, and that's what's going on with him, and Incarnate Exterminator Captain is sick.
Coup de grace.
Yeah, he is sick. He has a sick day this episode.
Yeah. Captain Major has a sick day.
Yeah.
But it's that episode stereotype where it's like the tough guy is injured / sick / whatever, but doesn't want to admit it. So everyone around him has to be like, nah, you gotta chill out.
Hey, you're a big boy. This is a big boy show. You gotta have your big boy nap.
You gotta put on your big boy nap pants.
Yeah, so Charles agrees to go with gets the vice captain to agree to take her with him to go after Hank.
And they go with Liza as well, because Liza always goes.
Yeah, even though it doesn't look like she fights.
Liza doesn't really seem to do anything, but she goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Liza she just goes places.
I feel like she's the paperwork person.
Yeah. She's there only because she has to, like, fill out the paperwork, and she's like, well, if I'm going to fill out the paperwork, I gotta see it.
Yeah. And Hank gets the shit kicked out of him by Roy, who, he really does a number on him. Like, Roy, he's like, there's one part where he's just stomping on his chest, and I'm like, dude, he probably broke, like, several ribs from this.
Yeah, I don't know if Hank could fight you even if he wanted to now.
But he actually does at one point, like, stick his claw through him to the point where it forces him to transform.
All it takes is a long and excruciatingly, like, painful-looking segment where he just grips Hank by the head and digs his claws into his chest and just starts rooting around in there.
And then after, when Hank transforms, he starts kicking the shit out of him.
Because it's Hank.
And then he, like, gets a bunch of blood on him, and then he, like, reverts back to his regular self, and he's like, what am I doing? And then transforms back into normal Hank.
Yeah, he gets super nightmare PTSD flashbacks.
And then Roy's like, no! Is that all you have? And I'm like, dude, he's gonna kick the shit out of you if he's in werewolf form. You might as well just kill him now, because he can clearly beat you. He didn't even want to fight. He transformed for 30 seconds, and he already has you pinned.
Yeah, you almost died. So getting your own blood in his eyes helped you more than anything else. But you know what? Fuck it. He still wants to fight Hank, and then the coup de grace forces.
Yeah, the coup de grace show up and they start shooting at both of them. Well, actually, they start shooting at Roy, and Hank's just kind of laying unconscious on a cliff.
Yeah,
not even unconscious, just apathetic, just.
Yeah, on a totally safe piece of cliff, just jutting out and hanging off the edge. And then some of the coup de grace forces shoot a freaking rocket at Roy.
And it misses, and then it hits the cliff, and then Hank starts falling, and Charles like, Hank!
Oh no, who could have possibly foreseen that one outcropping from the cliff was gonna break off?
And then Hank falls into the darkness. Does that mean Hank's dead?
Yes.
Yep, Hank's dead. The show ended.
Hank's dead, show's over. Episode, what is it, 8, 9?
I don't know, 8 maybe.
Whatever.
It was fine. It was a fine episode.
Yeah. Whenever I hear coup de grace, I think of one of the old, like, Ace Combat games. The opposing forces were the coup de grace forces. So every mission would be like,
I've never played an Ace Combat game.
you know what? It's kind of fun. Ace Combat's kind of a fun series.
I believe you.
But every mission would be like, the coup de grace forces. We need to take out this encampment of the coup de grace forces. And I don't know. I just like that shit. It reminds me of something that makes me smile.
Was Ace Combat like a flight, like a dog fighting game?
Yeah, it's a plane game.
I've only ever played, the only plane game I ever played, I think, was Warhawk.
Shit. I'm sorry. Because Ace Combat's much better than Warhawk.
That's why I think there's only one Warhawk.
And I think Ace Combat 7 is the most recent one.
I never tried World of Warplanes.
World of Warplanes is fine.
Yeah, I hear people mention tanks and warships more, so I'm imagining so.
Yeah. Ace Combat is... You know who would love Ace Combat? People who loved Girly Air Force. Like, no joke, those are two things that hit the exact same...
Every game should have a Moe mode.
Yeah.
Like, you just flip it on.
What if Dark Souls had a Moe mode? Just all of a sudden everything has like big kawaii eyes and everything's all friendly.
You play it on Steam, you can. Get the mods.
That's a good point. I can do that.
You got Code Vein coming out, which is a Dark Souls-like game, and everyone's just going to make their waifu.
I mean, I'm planning on making my waifu.
Yeah, I saw one like thread online where someone's like, so is anyone going to play a dude in this like me?
No, no one is.
Yeah.
No one's going to play a waifu violence game and be the dude.
Yeah, I'm going to be generic Kirito looking guy, just black-haired anime boy.
I haven't seen any of the male customization options, but I'd imagine there's only like 10.
No, it's as detailed as the female one. It's just...
No one's going to use it.
No,
That's not the point.
No, women are going to play the male characters and males are going to play the female characters.
Congratulations, we've reached equality.
We've reached equality. You go
done
online and you summon like help and some dude shows up and you're just like, oh, this girl's helping me.
Ah, thanks.
She's playing her husbando.
Hopefully this chick's husbando has good stats. Man, waifu shit is great.
It is.
Fire Force.
Yeah, we can't transition into that. It's not really a waifu show.
Fire Force.
It was actually a really good episode.
This episode was really good.
You know what's funny? I watched Fire Force first this week out of all the shows that come out on Friday. I'm just like, I'll watch the ones I like, the ones I think are going to be the least interesting so I can end off on the best one. I watched that first and I was like, man, I should have watched this last.
I usually watch Ari Fureta first because I'm like...
That comes out on like that's the earliest show this week, actually. Yeah. I think it comes out Mondays.
Yeah, and that's probably why I watch it first. Even though I watched everything today.
I didn't have that luxury.
But Fire Force, intrigue, shit goes down,
yes.
Breaking and entering.
So, I guess it kind of defeats the point of a stealth mission if their commander keeps coming to visit them or their second lieutenant.
Yeah. I love how he just shows up right outside the window.
Yeah, so Shinro wakes up, and he's been with the 5th for about a week now, and he opens the curtains, and their second lieutenant, glasses guy, just standing there. And he's like, Shinra, your report.
And he's in his bright orange jumpsuit, too, so he's super noticeable.
And some of the sisters walk by, and they're just like, oh, isn't that the second lieutenant from the 8th? And he's like, man, he really worries about his men. That's so cute.
Yeah. You know what? That's probably the best way that could have been taken.
And Princess Lady from the 5th even shows up, and he's like, what's the point of a stealth mission if they just keep, like...
Yeah. Why is everybody coming to visit me on my stealth mission? Guys, chill out.
He's like, you should contact the captain. He gets worried. But yeah, we find out, Captain Obi finds out from Princess's research that there's apparently some sort of insect DNA found with the the infernals.
There is a bug that turns people into infernals.
Yeah, and we see that this episode.
Yeah,
where
we see that a lot this episode.
They go on their mission with Ice Guy, and he just has them stand around the whole time, and they notice a guy come out of an alley and a hand come up behind him and just...
I did think that was really funny, because it just gingerly comes out of the alleyway and just boop.
Puts a little glass jar with a bug, and the bug crawls into the guy, and he becomes an infernal. And they're like, let's chase him down. And apparently that dude's really fast.
Yeah, because Shinra goes pretty far with his fire feet.
And he goes and he sees Ice Guy, and...
I think his name is Flam.
Yeah, Ice Guy's name is Flam?
Yeah.
He sees Flam, and then the starry-eyed, really hyper captain, and they're both
literally starry-eyed.
And then they're like, Arthur's about to like question them, but Shinra like stops him. And then after he's like, why'd you stop me? And he's like, because we don't know who we can trust yet or not.
Yeah, if they were both in on it, they would have wrecked our shit in that alleyway.
So they decide to go investigate Captain Flam's room.
Yep. And naturally, it's locked. Although, he does... Shinra gets... what's his name? Juggernaut?
Who?
The
Oh, yeah, Juggernaut, yeah, to distract him, the big guy.
the X-Men character.
And Arthur ends up using a little mini Excalibur to cut open the... A mini Excalibur to cut open the door. And he just has a tiny little one, and he just cuts the lock.
It's made out of plastic.
And Shinra's like, yo, this kind of defeats the purpose of breaking and
leaving evidence of breaking and entering defeats the purpose of a stealth mission.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they discover inside Captain Flam's room, or Lieutenant Flam's room, the bottle in one of his drawers.
And there's a bug. Oh no.
Yeah, well, I think that one doesn't have a bug in it. It's just an empty bottle.
Really? I thought this one...
No, I think it's just the empty bottle.
Oh, that's right, because he has a bottle. He's got a bottle, just like the one they saw in the alleyway.
And then they think, so it's got to be Captain Flam. And then he shows up, and he's like, what are you guys doing? And then they're like, explain this. And he's like, so the 8th really was investigating this. And he's like, I'm actually trying to find the culprit of this, too.
It's a gotcha moment, but an allied gotcha moment.
Yeah, and at first I'm like, what if he's punking them? And then we immediately...
That's what I was wondering, too.
Then we immediately cut to the other guy, and you're like, oh, no, this is the bad guy.
No, there's very clearly one bad guy and one not bad guy in this scenario.
Yeah, so the super excited guy, turns out he uses Tamaki, the cat girl, to go lure in some kids.
Because she got the crush on him. He's using the crush.
And he's just like, hey, Tamaki, yeah, go get these kids. I'll save them from becoming infernals.
Which immediately should be pretty suspicious.
Yeah, since no one has the cure for that.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's not just a thing you got.
And he has this mom and, like, a couple of, like, random kids he assorted, and she's just like, can you really stop this, Father? And he's like, of course, I know a prayer to help make it so these kids will never become infernals.
At first, when it shows Tamaki gathering those two kids, I was like, oh shit, she's in on it too.
Nah, because it looks like she joins their party later, so in
Yeah.
the OP. So I'm like, nah, she's being used.
It could have been... I always hold out for those debate moments, like the Joshua debates, even though that the rest of that show was a hot garbage fire.
So he ends up thanking Tamaki for bringing him the kids, and then he, like, chokes her out in a hug.
Yeah.
And
it was a little weird.
And then after she's unconscious, he turns the mom into an infernal, and then after immediately destroys her. And then all the kids are panicking at this point.
Naturally.
Yeah. And so then he shoves one of the infernal things into one of the kids.
Because he's looking for someone. He keeps saying he's looking for someone to be for the pilot light. He's looking for that pilot light.
He's looking, I think, for someone that can control the fire.
Yeah.
And so then he does it on one of the kids, and he's, like, trying to cheer him on. He's like, don't give in to the flames. He's like, you can do it. You can be the pilot light.
And you know what? The kid is. He is compatible.
He's like, wow, that's great. Finally, a compatible one. All right, that doesn't mean the rest of you get out of it. I get to try again with all of you.
All right, let's see who else is compatible.
But then Tamaki wakes up, and she's just like, how could you do this? And then he starts beating the shit out of her, and he's like, hurts me more than it hurts you.
Yeah, he starts kicking the shit out of her.
Like her face is all swollen after.
It's hard.
And then she kind of realizes that she was wrong, and that she used to like this guy, but he turned out to be a...
Turns out he was a big son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then he's like kicking her while she's down, and then he goes to kill her with a punch. He's like, now I have to frame you for this. He's like, my fist is weeping.
Yeah, it's real weird.
My fist is weeping.
And then the hero.
Yeah, so then Shinra busts in, and Shinra, like, 'cause she basically shouts for someone to save her, and he busts in, lands on this dude's head so hard that he, like, pushes him through the concrete on the floor.
And his feet are freaking molten lava glowing. And this scene looks really cool. Like, a lot of the show looks fairly conventional and grounded, but whenever it kicks into the action or, like, really intense moments happen, they take very interesting art direction. So things start to shift and look different and look cool.
As far as visuals go, UFO Table gets a lot of, like, praise for how they do, but David Productions is a very... They're a very good studio.
Yeah, they deserve some good cred, because they put out some quality content.
I really liked at the end, too, where he asked Tamaki if she's okay, and she doesn't say anything. They just draw her face, like, going through a change of emotions, and it's just, like, a lot of detail in it. It's
so good. It reminds me of the style of those Studio Ghibli movies, because that's what it feels like. Because she doesn't say anything. Yeah, she doesn't say anything.
She goes from, like, distraught and, like, almost to, like,
glad and relieved.
Yeah. Just in her facial expressions.
Yeah. It's so dang good. Oh.
It's very good.
It made my art direction soul very happy. Very, very happy.
This show was rough at first, but has just constantly been going up.
Yeah. That's one thing I gotta say about Fire Force, is like it has been a pretty steady incline. It's a good show. It's good. It's definitely worth getting through those first couple episodes.
I agree. I'm enjoying both of our shonen this season a lot more than I did Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Because by this point in Demon Slayer, I think they introduced, and are you okay? Are you okay? Shimona. Hee.
Yeah. Demon Slayer is one that gets better in the second core. Instead, like, there's a pretty definite cut, and like, okay, this is cool now. But anyway.
Other shonen. Dr. Stone.
Shonen number 2. We invented ramen so that we could get people to smelt iron for us.
We meet a new character. His name is Gen something.
It's like Ashira Gen, I think. Or Gen Ashira.
I don't think it's Ashira.
Something.
It's Gen something.
Yeah, but we call him Gen.
Yeah, so they meet Gen, and he immediately shows up while everyone's having the ramen, and he's just like, this ramen's pretty good. Would go a lot better with a cola.
A cola?
And Senku's like,
cola?
Yeah, that's a future word.
In my haste, I forgot cola.
And he realizes, hey, this guy is obviously with Tsukasa.
Yeah. And I like something cool happens with Kohaku and the guards, because like for a long time everything with them's been kind of goofy, but then Kohaku goes up to him and she's like, guys, quit fucking around, we've got an intruder. And immediately everyone just snaps into action and surrounds him, and
they immediately can tell what type of guy this is, or Kohaku at least can, where he's just like,
a bullshitter.
Oh no, guys, I'm trembling right now, my hands are
might drop this ramen, and then the young boy guard.
And she was like, this guy's words have as much weight as feathers.
yeah, he's a bullshitter.
And Senku really, like, figures it out. He's like, no one works for free. And he's forced to have to, like, work on the furnace.
Yeah.
And then he's like, by the way, how are Tenku and Yuzuriha?
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh? He's like, so you baited me into, like, doing all this when you've known.
Baited.
And he's like, they're fine. He's like, Tenku's high energy, and he's strong, and he's can put up with all the work he's given, but you knew that already, didn't you, Senku? And he basically explains that, yeah, he's with Tsukasa, and his whole goal was to go here and confirm whether Senku was dead or not, but he decides, hey, I'm kind of a scumbag who's out for myself. I don't really care which one of you wins because there's kind of bonuses to both.
Yeah. So he's willing to play both sides because he's a big piece of shit.
And he tells Senku this because, unlike Tsukasa, Senku would probably at least find a way to, like... Senku's not going to do anything about it. And if anything, he probably feels that Senku would be indebted to him for not getting him killed.
Exactly. And you know what? The debt of the science man is pretty great.
Yeah, so...
That's something you want.
He's like, well, with you, I can get modern comforts and good food like ramen. But with Tsukasa, I can just get a harem of, like, beauties.
It's harem time in Tsukasa town. And you know what? That's pretty tempting. But...
Well, I feel like that's the thing with Tsukasa's thing. You'd be playing second fiddle to him.
Yeah.
Because who do you think they're going to go for?
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, and so he sticks around for a little bit just to kind of see what Senku's up to, and it turns out Senku is going to make electricity.
He's going to build a generator.
And he does. That's pretty much what they do throughout the course of the episode.
Yep.
And Gen even helps at one point because they think, oh, the sorcerer brought the lightning. Let's go kick his ass. Yeah. And he distracts them.
Kick his ass.
He distracts them with a really simple magic trick because this guy previously was a magician.
He was a magician and wrote some not novels, but he wrote some like magazines and guides and shit.
Yeah, because it's all the Danganronpa. This is a Danganronpa universe where the only kids they like uncover are like super high school level strongest man, super high school level magician, super high school level genius.
Tsukasa is the super primate high schooler, which is, I feel like, actually a Danganronpa title.
Probably.
But
yeah, he ends up being an interesting character because you can tell like he's not an ally, but he's not an outright villain character.
Yeah.
Like he's like a secondary antagonist where I don't even think he's probably that. He's probably more just like
he's like, I don't know. He's just kind of this median element.
He'll probably be like somewhat of a problem down the road or cause some problem, but I don't think he'll ever be like a major like he's gonna like actively fuck them over. Where it's more like he's gonna do like he might minorly fuck him over to help himself. Yeah,
there's gonna be a situation where that pendulum's gonna swing one way or the other, and he's just gonna push it a little.
I feel like he'll probably in the future ends up joining Senku if he ever gets to the point where like it's not looking good on the Tsukasa side.
Yeah, he's a character who's perfectly fine with abandoning whichever side is losing.
And he basically tells Senku that. He tells him outright. He's like, yeah, I'm only gonna I don't care who wins. I'm just gonna stick with the winner.
Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I need to be with the winning side.
But at the end, they do build a generator and they build a light bulb at the end, and he is kind of mesmerized by this.
Yep.
Where I think he kind of sees the value in Senku versus Tsukasa.
And it's actually kind of funny because to do it, they need magnets. So they smelt their iron and they have it on top of the this bald mountain where lightning will strike and basically magnetize.
Yeah, and they sacrifice the golden spear.
Yeah, and that dude is salty about it for the rest of the episode.
But they get him to work the generator by telling him they could make more.
Yeah. But everything is magnetized and Kohaku's like, Senku, I don't think that the magnetization worked. No matter how hard I try to push the iron bars together, they're still repelled by some kind of force.
And then he just flips it.
Yeah, he's like, Dude, the poles are backwards, man. The poles are backwards.
But yeah, it was real. It was a cool episode. I like
the show.
I didn't think because I see him.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be an edgy motherfucker from how he looks in like the OP.
Me too.
Or just how his face looks.
Because he looks like the edgiest dude ever.
But he's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, he's a little baby. He's
Yeah.
a little baby back bitch. I like him. I'd say I like all of the characters. I don't think there's anyone that we've come across yet that I've really been like, I do not like this person.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on our Tsukasa camp episode.
Yeah, me too. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Machikaro Mazuku. Demon Girl Next Door.
We meet our new magic girl.
Who is an orange.
Yeah, well, I guess that fits because Momo's thing is peaches.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They're fruit-themed.
All the magic girls are fruit-themed.
And I forget her name.
Me too.
We're just going to call her Orange Girl.
I'll call her Unfortunate Girl.
Yeah, because...
In memory of Bochi, Unfortunate Girl.
Well, the weird thing is, Momo is Aru's voice actor.
No way.
Yeah, so...
That's good shit. I like that.
I originally, I didn't know, but I, saw it. I'm just like, huh. She's using an entirely different voice. Or, entirely different, pep level.
Yeah, I never would have figured that out. That is crazy.
Because instead she's kind of down like this for this whole show.
Yeah, she's down and very even and soft-spoken.
But, yeah, so this girl's power is she makes everyone around her unfortunate, Orange Girl.
Yep. Whenever she gets a little bit agitated, a curse kicks in that
to the
she
people
got from
she's
an old
close
battle.
to, and it makes everything just unlucky for them.
Yep.
And, we see Momo show up, and she looks like she went through the ringer that day.
She has a millionaire's pet bird, the banner for, I think, a ramen restaurant.
She's covered in water.
Yeah, it's not good. And all because she decided to walk to school with Orange Girl.
Yeah, and they're trying to put away trash, too, and all the shit gets, all the bags open up, and shit gets everywhere, and she's like, I'm sorry, this is part of my curse.
It's part of my Reaper's curse.
And Momo, yeah, my Reaper's curse. Hey, something bad happened, Aizen. Must have been my Reaper's curse.
Must have been my Reaper. No matter how many times I flip this coin, it always lands on tails.
It's my Reaper's curse.
It's my Reaper's curse. Oh, Aizen.
So she transfers to their school, which they think might be the key of why she's so on edge. Because, it's a whole new environment.
A whole new
I do like how
world.
Lilith, the ancestors, just wait, you transferred schools, but that's a huge deal. And you're doing that just for us?
Yeah.
Even she's taking pity on her.
Yeah.
You're completely uprooting your life for this.
I like how all of the characters are everyone's just down with it. Everyone's just friends now. Because even Lilith is on kind of friendly terms with everyone, even though she's
I love how they accidentally
bad guy.
throw Lilith away. That you just hear in the back, Shamiko,
help, Tasukete.
Oh, and she. One thing I like too. She comes up to Shamiko at the beginning, and she's like, "You are Yuko, right?" And she's like, "Huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh right, yeah." She's like, "It's weird. Only my mom calls me Yuko now.
Yeah.
I just kind of gotten used to it."
That one caught me. That was a joke that caught me off guard. Even I was like, "Eh."
And it's like, oh yeah, no one calls her Yuko.
That's her name.
Even the narrator. Yeah. Gambare Shamiko.
Gambare Shamiko. Man, I love the narrator. He's got a good voice. But after Super Special Trash, actually, isn't Special Trash Time the second one?
No, it's the first part.
What's the second part? Oh no.
The second part is when they go to try to get Shamiko to be able to transform into crisis management form.
Oh, yeah.
But they're wondering, how could you... Because she did it when, earlier in the episode, when she first met Orange Girl, and she tried to do it again in front of Momo. And originally, Momo transforms so she doesn't feel like she's transforming alone. And
Momo
then after...
just does it instantaneously.
And
yeah.
And it said at one point that Momo's transformation is 0.01 seconds, and they slow it down so we can see it.
Yeah.
But Orange Girl starts telling Shamiko that when Momo was younger, she used to do twirls and poses.
Yeah, but then she just got so good at it that it just no one can see it anymore, so there's no point.
Momo got old and jaded, so she stopped caring about like being like, I'm a cute magic girl.
Yep, she's an old and jaded high schooler. She's up there with Asuka now.
Yeah, I was gonna say she should join the Spec Ops.
Momo with her mystical heart shower,
You know,
heart
if
peach shower.
If Shamiko wants magic girl blood, she should follow them around because they bleed a shit ton.
Yeah, just follow them. Oh, that would be such a good crossover. Oh, I love it.
It really wouldn't, because the tone shift would be like...
It would not. It would be two polar opposites.
But, yeah, so they realize that she can't transform because crisis management really only works in a crisis.
Yeah.
So they decide, we gotta make her feel as threatened as possible to kickstart her transformation.
I'm gonna shoot her with my attack. But don't worry, it's one I can stop right before it reaches you. Which is not a very reassuring thing to say.
Yeah, but then turns out Momo can't because she used up too much magic, so she still hasn't recovered enough.
Momo is all tuckered out. She's running out of energy. And then we learn some dire news from Orange Girl. Turns out magical girls are held together by their magic.
And if they lose too much magic, they literally dissipate.
Yep, and they're not dead per se, but it's real hard to come back from that.
Yeah.
I'd believe it.
You're like a ghost at that point.
So Momo is one step away from being a magic girl force ghost.
And Shamiko realizes the importance of what she's got to do.
Yeah.
And I forget how it's resolved, but she eventually learns to use her...
She just kind of does it.
Yeah, she ends up doing it because I think Momo threatens her in some way, and then she does it, and she's just like, all right, good, just remember that feeling.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think Momo threatens her with more, like, physical exercise.
Yeah. So that's going to be her cue to transform. Just imagine exercising.
And I love how she's talking to her ancestor, and she's like, how do I transform back? And her ancestor's like, I don't know, but why would you want to? Your skills are slightly better in this form. You could do a forward handstand roll.
Yeah, that's the best you could get, like, basic things.
And even Shamiko is like, I mean, I guess that would kind of help in gym class. I wouldn't fall on my back on the mat every time, but, like, even then.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of that.
And that's the episode.
Yeah.
I like this show. It's cozy.
It's cozy, comfy, and I enjoy it.
And I like the new character. She's fine. I always get nervous when a new character comes in this late in the game.
I really like the new character. I like how since her power her curse basically kicks in anytime she's aggravated, everyone is just constantly like, yeah, but you're the greatest ally of all time. And even Shamiko at one point is like, now that there's another magic girl here, I can try and connive my way to get your blood when you're not paying attention. And Orange Girl is like, stop trying to make me feel better. That's only making it worse.
Yeah, it's good shit.
It's good shit. This is the 100% pure comf right here.
You got some good comf.
You want the cozy comfy? You come here. You go to the the demon girl who lives next door.
You know we love the cozy. Me and Ian gotta come up with our comprehensive list of the cozy shows.
That's what we'll have to do for our retrospective. It'll be a look back on the cozy.
We're talking
the good, the bad, and the cozy.
Yeah, the good, the bad, the cozy.
I like it.
That's a good title for it. There you go. You know the title of the retrospective. The good, the bad, and the cozy.
We'll have to, like, write that down somewhere so we don't forget, because that's good.
I have no pen with me.
And I must scream. Oh, wait. Different book.
Mao-sama.
Retry.
Come on, Mao-sama. Retry.
Yeah, just hit the start button. Go to load last checkpoint.
So he summoned his aide last time, the gun guy.
The Wall of Babylon gun genius man.
And yeah, so this dude, I guess he's a. There's a weird part where they're setting this place up
because he has a sister complex.
Yeah, and he's thinking like, man, imagine my sister in a bunny girl outfit,
and then they have to show us that.
Yeah, and I'm like, is she like?
Did you have to show us that?
Is she like 8?
Did you have to show us show? Really?
Yeah. And for some reason, he made him he developed this game. He developed these characters. He decided to make this guy a Syscon and you a Shotacon.
Yeah. I mean, you being a Shotacon has not come up again yet. It came up like once, so maybe we'll get lucky. And this one will only show up once.
Maybe. And
we can hope.
Yep, so he gets everything ready for this
he visits
he gets everything ready for the big lady shrimp fly butterfly.
Yeah. The lady with too much neck. She just has too much.
The lady who is neck.
She is like all neck. She doesn't I wonder if the arms are prosthetics cuz she's just a neck.
I'm glad she knows though because the dude said it this episode, the blind dude.
Yeah. That was actually the blind dude is pretty good. She basically shows up. Well, Mao Sama visits all his good buddies in town. It's all the same people we met before.
He preps everything for this big he basically goes to the
including bunny costumes and tuxedos.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, I need all these costumes built or delivered as fast as possible." And it's like, "Well, it's going to take some time. Here's 5 gold coins. I'll give you 2 more if you rush it." And then they're like, "Oh, yes, monsieur, yes."
Of course, monsieur. He's very easily flustered. But you know what? Whatever. It's kind of endearing to me at this point.
Yeah, and so he gets everything all set up. The bunny girls are putting the bunny outfits.
Naturally.
And the dude's like, "Yeah, I guess this works pretty good."
Hey, that's pretty convenient that you're actually bunny people. And they're like, "That's a weird thing to say, Pion."
Yeah. Pion Usa.
Usa. Pion.
And then Shrimp Fly Butterfly shows up with this old blind soldier who lost his eyes in battle.
I'm an old soldier.
And then he has you fix him because of course she can.
Yeah, she just gives him eye drops and his eyes were fucked up by a scarecrow's venom, which was something that really caught me off guard. But she's like, "Oh, we have poison. We have medicine. We have poison that deals with that. I'll poison you, and the different poison will take out the old poison." No, she gives him medicine, and he's fine, and is fine.
Yeah, and then she gets paid in this big ass gold coin that's like worth a shit ton.
I think she says it's worth easily like 100 standard gold coins.
Yeah,
and it's actually kind of a heartwarming moment because basically the whole episode, Shrimp Fry Butterfly and the old soldier, who is he was a subordinate of one of my other favorite characters, Martial Arts. Basically, both of them just shit talk each other the whole time. They just spend the entire episode giving each other shit.
Yeah.
But after you cures his eyes, Miss Butterfly is like, "Hey, you know, seeing him be so happy just means the world to me. So you know what? You take this
Also, he's probably indebted to me now, so that's good."
Yeah. So here's this hyper valuable gold coin, and I was like, you know what? I like that. That's a good moment.
And it was a fine episode because it kind of ends there. But no Aku or Priestess. So,
no.
You know, it was kind of whatever. It's fine.
It's a lot of prep. This was a prep episode. They're prepping for stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of prep episodes, I don't know what this is prepping for.
I don't even remember.
From Kama's Place to World's Strongest. So
I don't remember what happened.
This was like a legendary bad show early on, and now it's just kind of a bad show.
Yeah.
They go to a labyrinth, and Bunny Girl pees herself.
Yeah,
and then
she gets caught in a trap, and she pees herself. And actually, she just randomly gets, like, a new outfit.
Yeah.
Because it hard cuts into the dungeon, and she's wearing different clothes, and no one talks about it. And
I didn't even pick up on that.
That was so jarring to me. I was like, oh, now all of a sudden she's wearing the outfit from the OP, I guess. Okay.
I didn't even notice.
I don't know why I noticed.
I mean, I'm assuming because this is a light novel series, it's something that happens, but they probably skipped over it because this is a bad and poorly run show.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the show is just like skipping over shit that seems kind of important.
Yeah, so they go and they fight some bad CG knights after they get through the dungeon and dodge a bunch of like...
There's a lot of like...
They get through the dungeon by basically having Bunny Girl smash her way through it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Indiana Jones traps.
Yeah, and then they fight a giant golem that is... It's a shit fight.
Yeah.
And then after they meet the dungeon lord, and then they just get the shit.
Fine.
And then, like, I guess you can do gravity powers, but who cares? And then they get flushed out and they leave. And then after it looks... The one scene from this episode I did enjoy, it looks like Bunny Girl's drowning, so he gives her CPR. And then she immediately wakes up and, like, locks around him and, like, starts tonguing him.
I thought that was pretty funny.
And then he gets mad, and then he hits her and throws her in the water. And
you can just drown.
And then they go to town, and then who cares?
Yeah.
Nothing. It doesn't matter anymore. I never cared about the plot. Because before it was simple enough where he's just going through a dungeon and there's legendary bad CG and it's stupid. Now it's just now I gotta pay attention and I don't wanna.
There's all kinds of shit about like new dungeons and how you gotta use these dungeons to unlock the other dungeons.
We were in the other dungeon for like 6 or 7 fucking episodes. We did this one in half.
Yeah, so this was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm done.
Me too. I'm good.
We're done with our Ferretta.
Even like the bad CG, just like it wasn't even legendarily bad this time.
It was just regular bad CG.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where it was inevitable. It was never a good show. We're not dropping it because it's like it got worse. It just pedaled out.
It's as weird as it feels to say, we're almost dropping this one because it got better.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as it was before, so it wasn't as fun to watch.
It stopped being legendary bad. It's just bad now.
Yeah, and no one wants to watch something that's just bad.
Yeah.
That's boring.
So,
Bye.
Bye. That's the second show we killed this season, and we're almost near the end of it, so that's pretty good.
Get out of my classroom. You're fired.
You're suspended.
You're fired from school.
Yeah.
That's a thing they do, right?
You're fired from school.
Yeah, get out of here. Collect your things and leave.
Are you lost?
No, I know exactly where I am.
The Protagonist Seat, the Big Boy podcast.
Yep, I think we've made that joke every episode.
The Big Boy episode.
Wait, we haven't, because there was one by myself, and I wasn't going to ask myself if I was lost.
Am I lost?
Am I lost in life?
Yeah,
I wasn't prepared to ask myself if I was lost in that one episode because, I mean, I already know that I'm lost. Maybe in life, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to ask that kind of deep, esoteric question.
Yeah, am I lost? And you just start going on a tangent where it's
Where
just, you're not
am
even talking about the episode. You're just like, what am I doing with my life?
What am I?
Is this what I want?
Why am I here? Why are any of us here? Aren't we all lost?
But yeah, in this episode, they learn about Hamare's pop. Actually, they don't learn about it. We learn about him.
Yeah, this episode is basically like non-stop little problems
and then cut away to her dad
explaining them.
Yeah,
and you know what? I kind of enjoyed that.
Like, there's one part where it shows her dad and her climbing up a mountain. She's like, Dad, I have to pee. And he's like, then just pee.
Yeah.
And she's like, but what if I have to poop? He's like, then poop.
Then do it in your pants. In a true survival situation, there's no room for embarrassment.
Or there's one part where they want to make perfume because they think they smell, where she cuts back to a thing with her dad, and she's driving. He's like, hey, Hamare, we should take a shower because, you know, your mom's going to be pretty mad at us because we stink. And she's like, really? I don't smell us, Dad. And he's just like, well, that's because after a while.
Olfactory fatigue.
Yeah. The truth is, and it cuts really close to his face, we both stink. We just don't realize it.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I saved that one, like that screen. I'm like, that fits the podcast. We both stink here. We just don't realize it.
We just don't realize it. But it's just a lot of stuff like that this week. And
It's a simple episode, and it's fine. That's why we like it.
yeah, I like the first one they do is they need sunscreen because they're terrified of being delinquent girls with their tan skin.
Yeah, and they don't want to be Garu.
Yeah, no one wants to be Garu.
And they end up, it cuts to her dad, and her dad, because he gives actual advice where he's like, hey,
Yeah.
too much UV radiation is bad for your immune system, so here, cover yourself in squid ink.
And he covers them both in squid ink, and little Homare is just loving it. She's like, thanks, Dad, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's basically like all different ways to get sunscreen, because there's squid ink that Glasses Girl gets. There's crushed up seaweed that I think that one goes to Sports Girl. And then last but not
like fat.
least, is like squid liver fat.
And
you
it
know what?
smells the worst, and Shion gets that.
Yeah, and she's like, my face smells. Oh no. I mean, it's a good show to watch. There's a lot of fan service, though. There's a lot of it.
Yeah, but that's what we buy the Blu-rays for, eh, kid?
Sure.
That's not a vote of confidence, kid.
I mean, it's
Listen, we're here to make money on the Blu-rays.
but
Put the panty shots in it. You're just an animator, kid. You're never gonna make it in this world.
But there's only 2 episodes on that Blu-ray, and they're only 15 minutes long.
Then put a full-on nip slip in it. I don't care. As long as I get my money.
Don't this seem kind of skeezy, boss?
Listen, you're just an animator. You don't ask questions. You just draw.
I guess so.
Give me a nice big ass shot.
I guess so, boss.
And that's how it goes over there.
Yeah, Japanese, as we know from Joey Wheeler, the classic anime protagonist.
Yeah, Joey Wheeler. He's Japanese.
All Japanese people speak with Brooklyn accents.
Anyway.
Let's move on before the laptop dies.
Astra, Lost in Space.
Guys, with the intrigue cliffhangers. Guys.
You gotta calm down, guys.
So it turns out that not only are Funi and Kittery clones, literally everyone.
Clones. Or, as far as we know, everyone's clones.
Yeah, the assumption is everyone is clones, but of their parents.
Not all of them. Like, Luca isn't.
Yeah, Luca isn't, because Luca's the clone of an artist.
We get a moment where a couple of the parents meet together, and they meet Luca's original, and he's an artist and it turns out they were all planning on using their clones as their new bodies.
Yeah.
By having Zach's dad do like the memory transplant thing.
Yeah.
Which that's not technically, that's not you. That's like your ego dies technically.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. Down with the bourgeoisie, right? That's how we get rid of them. We steal the memories from their body.
I'm not sure how that works, but okay.
I don't know.
So they end up all the parents meet, and it's Olgar's dad, Zach's dad, Kittery's mom, and
Luca's original,
and Kanata's dad.
Yeah. Turns out Luca is like halfway in between genders, is because the artist was kind of a pretentious dickwad about that.
So he wanted his like new body to be in between genders.
He wanted to be an ascended I forget if it was something like an ascended perfect sex being.
Yeah, so he basically did that for his own reasons.
Yeah.
And you find out that the reason that Funi was even sent was because she made 2 clones, and they were like, the whole reason they sent their clones is because the Human Genome Project thing would basically identify, they made clones.
Them.
Yeah, and it's illegal to have clones, so they were like, we'll just dump our clones into space.
Yeah, where no one can find them. Whatever, problem solved.
And then the rest of them, while they're on the ship, decide, all right, we're going to go back home and we're going to expose them and get them all arrested.
Because we're all a family now. Bam.
But the only person not totally down with this is Ares, because she kind of is like, but my mom's a good person, and I don't think I'm a clone.
Yeah, and you know what? She does not look like her mom at all. Because everyone else looks like their original.
Yeah. The story with her is going to be the most, she's the main heroine, the most,
complex.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we still don't know what's going on with that yet. And then, because that's most of the episode is them is revealing this.
Yeah.
And because it's kind of a big deal. And then at the end, the woman that they picked up, they go back and they're like, hey, we can finally see planets like 2,000 light years away or something.
We can see home.
And then she's like, I'm so glad, Earth. And she's like, wait a second. The continents don't look the same. She's like, why is Africa? Where's Africa? Or where's this?
Africa's not shaped like that.
And she's like, she's like, guys, are you sure you have that correct? What's wrong with the Earth? And then Kanata's like, what are you talking about? What's Earth?
Yeah.
And we're doing that.
We're doing that.
What's Earth? And they're just like, she's like, no way. She's like, wait, what planet is that? And they're like, are you kidding? That's Astra.
Yeah, that's planet Astra. Guys.
Bum, bum, bum.
Guys.
I think there might have been a problem with her cryopod clock.
Yeah.
I think it was a little longer than 12 years.
Either that or she came from the other side. So there might actually be two separate planets with humans on them.
But they have the same ship, which is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, but they found theirs in space, so that might have been...
They found a freaking human ship in space. Holy shit.
So they came from another side and found that one.
And then they... Oh my God.
Went the other direction.
That is something else.
That's a theory we're putting out there.
You know what? We've got theories now. We're going with theories.
We're theory crafting.
I want to know what's going to happen. Because, like, what happens if you go missing in space? You show back up on Earth, and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, we found another humanoid creature that looks like us, but is from a different planet.
And that has the same societal structure as us.
Yeah, and we took them home with us. Hey guys.
There are more humans that developed the same way and speak the same language as us.
That's so, like, there's so much shit going on right now. Oh,
this show's fucking crazy.
Is a 10. This show's kicking it up to 11.
This show is the strongest contender for show of the season. It has to crash and burn at the finale.
I want to know what other cliffhangers were. Like, we're not even at episode 10. I think this is...
Yeah, it was 9, I think.
9.
So we still got 4 more episodes, I think.
What? How do you up the cliffhangers from here?
Yeah. How?
Although I do think they did a pretty hard jump from, hey, Charles, I don't remember you in biology class.
The fuck is Earth?
To everyone is clones. Hey, what's Earth? Oh my God.
Shit's crazy.
This show is freaking crazy, man. It's crazy.
That's what we do here. We watch all the crazy shows.
We watch the crazy shows. We talk about the crazy shows.
And we're glad you're here for the ride.
Yeah. If you want to listen to us talk about the crazy shows more, subscribe to our YouTube channel and get updates.
Yeah. Or follow us on Twitter at Protagonist Seat.
And we also have a Facebook page. Go like our Facebook page. We also post updates there.
Do all of the things.
Called the Protagonist Seat.
Do all of the things.
Do all of them. Follow us on every piece of social media and always share our posts with everyone.
Follow us in person.
Please don't.
Yeah, follow Ian.
Please don't.
See what he does during the day and report to me.
I don't do anything.
You will be my spy network.
But I don't do anything.
I will have a constant feed 24/7 of what your activities are.
You're going to get a lot of calls that are like, he's not doing nothing.
But I'll know that, though. I'll know the second that changes, people will be like on it and be like, hey, he's moving again.
He went to Shaw's.
Yeah, he went to Shaw's.
He's picking up bread.
What kind of bread? Give me all the details.
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat. Is he getting milk with the bread? He's not getting milk. Is he eating the bread alone? Is he getting peanut butter, jelly, anything? He's just getting the bread, boss.
What's this dude? Just eat bread? Just eat bread?
Yep.
But
yeah.
good week.
Good week.
See you next time.
See ya.